and welcome back to Coffee Infused Crypto. I have a question for you. Do you love trend lines? Do you love hidden trend lines? Do you love hidden trend lines that no one notices, but technically they can change your entire life? Well, if your answer was yes, stick around because I've figured out and found some hidden trend lines and went back through history and kinda connected the dots. That is gonna be interesting. But to start off with this chart, which you know by now. So if you haven't watched this video, I'm gonna link it up in the top right corner. Very important, with a 3rd of July. And as you can see, we have had this green candle pulse to the upside, and it respected our trend line so far. But we're not gonna count our eggs before they hatch. So far the format or the trend didn't break. So far it is working, and we can always use it every time until it breaks, and then we can't use it again. So as long as this has been working, we follow until it breaks. Hopefully this time it doesn't, because it would be nice to have Bitcoin at around 50,000, but more details about this matter would be in the video that we posted earlier, so go back and watch it. On the shorter time frames, or technically the daily, we were at the weekly. This is the daily time frame. As we discussed yesterday, this middle of the parallel channel would be a resistance, and it was a resistance. We failed to break it instantly to the upside, and I mentioned that if we broke it, we might see Bitcoin trading within this narrow region of this, if you remember, of this asymmetrical triangle, but that didn't happen. What happened actually was a push to the downside, and now guess what? We are trading in this ascending asymmetrical triangle, but the one lower than the one we discussed earlier. That might be the case. So both work, came back down, and now we are trading here. This is still a bullish scenario with our oscillators here resetting. We have our RSI just crossed 50 again around here. So we were trading below 50 on this area, and our stochastic RSI is turning bullish, if you can see green over red, and had this flip to the upside. So our oscillators on the daily are reset. We have a momentum, or we can carry a momentum to the upside, because this is favoring going to the upside more than it's favoring going to the downside. Over 50 on the RSI. Stochastic is bullish at the moment, and here Bitcoin is trying to break the white line, or our white resistance, at 29,157, and it's currently trading above it. Let's see if it'll succeed breaking the center of our parallel channel. If that is the case, we discussed them earlier, 31,000 would be the next target after this, and after the 31 would be the top of our parallel channel. But again, always keep an eye for those. If we broke here, we might be again trading within this, if we didn't break this resistance instantly. So we might be trading in this asymmetrical triangle of the upper side of the asymmetrical triangle. Anyways, yeah, we'll have to wait and see on this, but there's a very interesting thing that I want to point out before going into our revelation, or something I came across which I thought was interesting and wanted to share with you guys. Look at this candle. This is a full day, right? So on the first glance, if you're looking at the whole chart, you don't even notice this candle. But this was yesterday, actually, and you all remember yesterday. So yesterday ended up a green candle. So it ended up closing above where it opened, where the candle opened overall. But within those wicks, millions upon millions of dollars were liquidated. I mean, yeah, if you look at this candle, from a closer time frame, this is what you're gonna see. This was a move within only 4 hours. It was less. It was within half an hour, this move, but it printed a 1 4 hour candle of 7%, almost 8%, and yeah, by full 4 hours we were 10% down. This is how important, and this is how urgent I beg of you not to over leverage or not to leverage at all. Don't confine yourself on, don't take the higher risk of trading within the lower time frames. Just trade spot, trade on a bigger time frames. Bitcoin is already over volatile. You don't need to add to the volatility of Bitcoin, because this will wreck you instantly, will wipe every profit you made if you didn't have your risk management set up right. So always take that into consideration. Whenever you want to open any sort of a leverage position, think about, what if Bitcoin went 10% against me? And it can, and it will, and it always does. So take that into account. Don't get wrecked. The market, eventually, the day ended up green, but many people lost a lot of money. Yeah, many did a lot of money, but I doubt that the people who made lots of money are as much as people who lost lots of money, because this came out of nowhere and went right instantly. Like it rebounded instantly, you know, and it just regained everything. So we gained a lot, lost everything, and then regained everything in a matter of what, 2 days. So always remember, crypto markets are volatile. Please don't get wrecked. Please don't over leverage, or don't leverage at all. So enough with that. I just wanted to stress on it, and I want to show you something. First of all, before the hidden trend lines, I want to point out that the Bitcoin dominance is at 48.52, and we are en route heading to our this resistance. As you can see here, we got rejected here, we got rejected here, again we got rejected here and here and here. So I'm expecting whenever we reach this would be around 49 to 50%. So alongside with the purple line here and the green diagonal line, and if you go to the weekly, you'll understand the purple and the green. So the purple would be this area, this wick here, alongside the accumulation from this area, and the green line would be this here, coming all the way from the wicks of those, you know, and here. So yeah, those are the three lines here intersecting at this area, and we are en route. So whenever our dominance is high or going higher, altcoins will bleed against Bitcoin. Altcoins will suffer against Bitcoin. They will underperform. Okay, so keep that in mind. If anything like yesterday happened, if this wick that we're talking about happened like yesterday happened, and the dominance was high, you all witnessed what happened to altcoins. 7, 8, 10% in red. So Bitcoin drops 1%, 2, 3. When Bitcoin dominance is high, altcoins will get shattered. So keep that in mind. So now to the important part. I was looking around the chart. This is the Bitcoin on the 4-hourly. And this chart, you know, so I'm gonna turn it on. Let's go to the weekly. Let me show you which chart I'm talking about. So this is the chart we once discussed. So all-time high, a trend line, break it to the upside, then parabolically jump, then all-time local high here, not all-time here. We didn't do an all-time high on this run, but continuation was the last all-time high area. So every time this is a weekly trend line, so technically this takes a long or a lot of time to form, and whenever we break it, it would be the end of or the very bottom of a bear market. Here is the COVID wick, which did reset us. But nevertheless, that would be the breakout from here, would be a signal of moving, forward into a new cycle, into a new potential, into a new high estimation, and all of that good stuff. Even if we go to earlier to the 2013 era, where our all-time high was 1,215, around that area, and we spent a year and a half or something, around 2 years, a year and a half into a bear market, and whenever we broke that, came back retest, and that signaled an all-time high, or a new run, or new bull run, and a new all-time high. But looking into this on the shorter time frame, just a while back, I noticed something. I noticed this. So I'm gonna share it with you, and we're gonna just speculate a little just for the fun of it. And I've noticed first of all, this accumulation here. So technically that is a resistance around this area connected with this made sense, right? So we broke this, definitely. So to the upside, came back, retest, came back here, we stomped out and then got rejected, came back, retested again, came back, and even here we wicked. So connecting this trend line here, right? And then here, so if you see, we're always kind of flirting around with this area, and even we pumped to the upside, and then we lost it here at the 30,100, because we know this orange box is our last, right? We shared this before. This orange box is our last, the final boss, let's say. That's what I called it last time. So it did a good job in restricting the price, and then the price again failed this, and again we are just sticking to this. I mean, every time we reach this white trend line, we flirt around with it. So let's go back in time and see. I mean, this is a hidden trending upwards resistance slash support. This is a trend line going to the upside, which we are respecting on many occasions. So let's go back in time. Let's see if we had, I mean, we definitely had, I mean, we had here around this area. Again, we were going from the highest point into the COVID crash. And if you notice here, we had this trend line where we reacted, it started around this area, right? So those are the bottom here, reaction around this area as a resistance, okay? And the resistance here, definitely we reacted, jumped all over it and onto it, over it, onto it. Again, a wick here rejecting us, right? So a wick here, support, a wick here, support, accumulation around this area. I mean, the countless numbers we tried to just break this trend line with a fake out around this area, right? So this here retested it, came out, fake out, and then failed again. This was the COVID crash. So this is an I think this move should have been here. But again, so let's see. So like, we try so much on this trend line, but after all, and eventually when we succeed in just taking off from here, this is on the daily, remember? So this happens. So we move here. So let me remove this. Let me delete this one. Take a ruler. From whenever we confirm a breakout from this, or we confirmed in this instant a breakout from this trend line, we shot up around 200%. 200% this invisible trend line after the breakout. Okay, so this is first incident. Okay, we don't build everything on one incident. Again, this was the all-time high of 2017, came back and then broke here, right? So let's take a closer look. So we have this accumulation. So I'm always interested with the first breakout and the tops here. Again, this is based on observation alone. So we were resisted here, again tried attempt, resisted here, and again, you know, had this confirmation, breakout, retest, and move. But before we had this, okay, as a resistance, came back here, failed, and went all the way down. So this explains this white hidden trend line after the breakout. When we came back here, retested this made or caused a move of, let's look and let's find out. So this trend line, okay, so let me move this to the downside, and here we had 141% after breaking. But first move, if you notice, like look at this first move from breaking this trend line, the first initial move for a couple of days, or a burst move for 7 days, 1 week, 42% to the upside. Okay, look at the details. Then 2 days, exactly 2 days, let me turn the magnet on, we want the exact number, 21% to the downside. We bursted 42% to the upside, lost half in just 2 days. Okay, so here people were panicking, like Bitcoin to 9k, right? Same here. I mean, we were actually here where yeah, we were below 9k, but again, people were calling, I don't know what they were calling around this area, 3k maybe. So 2 days, 21%, we lost the 40, half of the gains. But again, overall trend was, yeah, definitely. I mean, it tells it's like over 100%, like 100% again after this 22% to the downside. But overall, after breaking this invisible friend of ours, the trend line, it's 143% over 50 days, like in within the range of 50 days. That's like a month and a half, or a month and 2 quarters. So again, let's go back, let's go even further back in time. Let's find this thing, our imaginary friend. So this is back in the early in 2015, good old 2015. Again, we have the breakout, the same pattern from the all-time high back then to the bottoms of the bear market, and then a breakout came back here, retest. That's similar to what we did currently. Came back here, retest, and move here. Okay, so before this happened, notice this, we had a wick here, so we were stomped at a point. Okay, and then when we came back, retested, and moved all the way up, notice this area. Again, we had a first day, we stomped here, rejected on this day. So this is an interaction. Only on the third day we managed to move. So this point here with this here, and go back here, we had this stomp around this area. So we were moving like so, got rejected, came back down, moved all the way here, broke this multi-month trend line to the upside, came up and was met around this area. So this 2-3 points are more than enough for me to confirm or to draw or to spot this invisible friend of mine, my new favorite invisible friend of mine. So here, notice this. So reacted here. I'm not quite certain what was happening around this area, but the chart indicates that something was happening. I mean, bulls were bullish, were doing bull stuff. This wick around here was 48%. Okay, so don't get confused. This is a 48% move wick in 2 days. All right, so every time we kind of move above this invisible imaginary friend of mine, of ours now, yeah, please accept this invisible trend line as friend of yours so that we all can live happily ever after. We bursted 48% to the upside, only to again lose them all within the next week. And with another accumulation below it, reattempt to take it out. We did take it out. Okay, let me remove this, let me add this. We did take it out here, came back, retest, and then again pushed to the upside. And we kept on flirting, coming down, rebounding off of it, and moving until the general trend was like so. So ever since, if you want to take a whole comparison from the second time or the first time, let's say from here all the way to here, that was in 228 days. So overall, the whole move was 130% in 228 days. So this trend line, this invisible trend line, got me thinking, like, this happened over and over and over and over again, right? And now it's happening again. Now we have this trend line. This might be nothing, but this might be something, right? So I wanted to share this with you. Take it into consideration. So we had it supporting us around this area. As soon as we came, we failed it. We crashed. Okay, we crashed. Yeah, we definitely crashed here. So came back here. Once we broke up, so it was here that we were resisted, and then came back down, retest, came back up. Again, here was where we resisted, came back down, came back up, successfully breaking it. And again, don't get confused. Ever since we broke it here, let us zoom in. So we broke it here. Our total move was, yeah, around, that was a 16% move to the upside, even more. Like, let me turn on the magnet. No magnet here. Let's take it from here and then turn on magnet to take the very top of the wick. Yeah, that's a 16.5% to the upside. Again, this is an orange box, and we know the current situation of the market, so it wasn't that easy, but we went below it earlier, right? We went below it earlier, and we've seen that we even traded for a couple of days up to a couple of weeks below it, but we kept always, we stayed always very close to it, like coming down, retesting, coming down, retesting, until actually like after a while, and after I don't know how many attempts came, we crossed it to the upside, came back down, retested, and had our move to the upside. I mean, so far, every time we move above this invisible friend of ours, successfully retested, we tend to have some good moves to the upside. I mean, this again might be nothing, but might be everything for someone who loves details like me. I get curious when it comes to similarities in patterns that happened in the past, and for me this is something very, very curious to follow up with and see if we nail it or not. So if you're curious, I'm gonna keep this on my radar, and again, we are testing it now, so let's see what this holds for us. Stay tuned, make sure to hit the bell notification so that you get notified instantly whenever I post an update on this and many other interesting topics and observations I do come across on daily basis. So that was everything for today. I really hope you enjoyed, first of all, and learned something new, or learned a new perspective, or something caught your interest. That's everything for today. I'll see you later. Stay safe, don't over leverage. Bye bye.